Welcome to another episode of Tekoa Talks. I am honored to be here with you guys today, and I want to share about something that I think is still near and dear to Jesus's heart. We had a shooting here in San Jose this week, and there's some heaviness in the air. It's also the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd, and I know that there is some unrest and uncertainty in things about being out in public and doing life and the safety of our community and who we're supposed to be doing life with. And what I want to look at specifically today is in Matthew, which is one of the Gospels. The Pharisees, who were the religious leaders, were trying to corner Jesus and get him to believe that he wasn't the perfect Savior that had come to save us. And they were questioning him about the law. So to give you some context, there was the old law, which was hundreds, literally hundreds of rules that were meant to be followed. And with Jesus' coming, his life and death meant that there was a new law, that he was the ultimate sacrifice. And so they were questioning him about, okay, well, with this new law, like, what are we supposed to believe? What are we supposed to still follow? And they were trying to get Jesus to maybe admit that they didn't have to follow everything, that there wasn't going to be a new law. But the reality is there are still rules that we're supposed to be following about how to live life. And so I want to look specifically at what Jesus said, because I think his words still matter to us today. So we're going to look at Matthew 22, starting in verse 36. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And he said to them, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depends all the law and the prophets. Now, what I want to look specifically at is that second commandment. He says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no quantifier of what your neighbor is. It's not physically the person that lives next to you. It's not the person that looks like you. It's not the person that believes the same political beliefs as you. It is not anything other than your neighbor. You do life with people. There are people in your proximity around you that you are doing life with, and you are meant to love them as yourself. And I know for some people, loving yourself is something that you are hard on yourself. But when he's talking about loving them as yourself, this means that you wouldn't do to them anything you wouldn't do to yourself. And so I think that this applies to us today, because the reality is we are meant to love everybody around us. There is not a quantifier of they must look like you, they must believe the same political beliefs as you, they must drive the same car as you, they must. There is no must. It is love your neighbor as yourself. And so I want to challenge you guys to think about, how are you loving your neighbors? How are you loving those around you? I know for us here at Tekoa, one of the things that we're doing to love our neighbors is throwing barbecues this summer. And we get to this weekend host some Memorial Day barbecues. We know some people are traveling the world, starting to open back up, and that's amazing. But if you're in your community and you know of some people that are going to be around, I encourage you to host a barbecue of your own, or get together with a couple other people and host a gathering. We are not meant to do life alone, and there's something beautiful about gathering with others and having conversations about what they believe, about where they were brought up, about what they've learned and loved in life. I am so encouraged by our community. I love getting to have conversations with people who were born in different countries, who believe different things than I do, because it helps me to better understand what I believe and who I am. And so I want to encourage you guys to get out there and be a part of your community and love your neighbor as yourself. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe below. You don't want to miss what we have coming up this summer. Have a great day, everybody.